Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Connor Knowles, and this is the Nerdic Gods podcast, episode one. Oh boy, episode 159. Yeah. Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
Joining me as always, Daniel. Never really.
What's up, gamers? How's it going?
Pretty good.
Um, I need to say this again.
Sure.
I've been talking about this Psychonauts 2 documentary for so long. I'm not done yet. I'm almost done. I think I have like 3 parts left.
It's because every episode is like varying in fucking
The
length, and
last
it's so
episode,
long.
the last episode is 97 minutes. It's an hour and a half long, and it's the
Jesus.
final episode. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been watching
Um,
it too. I'm on. I think I finished episode 12 last night. And it was like out of
nice.
nowhere. This episode was like an hour and 20 or something like that. Hour
Oh, was it
10.
the first Amnesia Fortnite
Yeah. Oh,
part?
there's
Yeah.
another one. I was
Yes.
like,
And the
oh,
other
that's
one
cool.
is an hour and a half.
Yeah. But then, because it's like it's been pretty steady, like 25 to 45 minutes for a little while now. I think like the first couple episodes might have been a little longer. And then yesterday they just hit me with like here's an hour and 10-minute episode.
Yeah,
I'm like, where did this
I
come
love
from?
that they do the Amnesia Fortnite thing where they'll just take 2 weeks, make
Yeah, it's a cool
everyone
idea.
make these little projects, come together and like see what you got.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say that this I can't believe you haven't even gotten to see everything yet. Uh, I can't believe that this documentary that like Tim Schafer signed off on a lot of this stuff and allowed it to be, not that it's like awful things, but like just how like they're in the thick of it a lot of the time. The two documentary
That's
guys, like
personal.
it's very personal. It's
Yeah.
very like you're not even to some of the most personal stuff yet.
Yeah,
Like
I
it
bet.
gets intense. Like I'm surprised that game even really came out, to be honest.
Dude,
Like
and the
looking at this
crazy
entire
thing is, like,
documentary.
this is probably how all games are. You know what I mean? Like, it really does give you a really cool insight in how games are made. And, like, man, what a complicated process. You see why games take so long to make watching this, you know? And like, it's just pretty crazy. Like, we never really. I'm sure there's other documentaries and things out there you could look up, but, like, I don't know.
This
I've
might be the
never
most in depth.
experienced, like, yeah, this in depth way of making games. And, like, I don't it comes from someone that just plays a lot of games. I don't really understand how they're made. You know what I mean? Even watching this documentary, you don't like truly understand how they're made. You know what I mean?
You get more hints, but it's like a lot, like even like no clip, a lot of like no clip. I love no clips like docs, but a lot of that is like a lot of these developers reminiscing about
Yeah,
things. It's not like they're in it and they're in the thick of it right now. And
yeah.
um Psych Odyssey, they're in it, it's crazy. Like I can't wait to have you experience some of the things in the back half of this documentary. The back half of this documentary is wild. They're like basically in by the time it hits like 2020 or no, 2019, kind of the end of 2019.
Oh, I
It's
can't even
like,
imagine with COVID and stuff kicking off too.
oh, I just got into that.
Did you?
They're kind of getting it right at the end of the doc.
Yeah.
I think that's why that final episode's really long. But when it hits to like 2019, um, which is right around the time they get bought and stuff, I'm shocked that the game was even made.
Yeah, it's nuts. Especially when they show like 2016 and they're running around as Raz and stuff already, and you're just like, wow, like it still didn't come out for another 5 years. You know, it's just crazy. It's cool seeing the ideas planted of what we played in Psychonauts 2. You know what I mean? It's like I really like that episode with Tim and the other guy. I forget his name. Is it Scott? The other director of Psychonauts 2. I forget.
Zach.
Zach, yeah. I really like that episode where they're just sitting down, just hammering out the story details of it, and like they don't even have it fully down yet. It just seems so like, how did this amazing story even come from these post-it notes that they just have sitting on a board? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
yeah, like the final product, how did it even ends up getting there? You just like it seems so impossible at that point.
You might not have made the connection yet because I guess you just watched the first Amnesia Fortnite,
Yeah.
but they got the documentary guy to do one to run a
Hmm.
project in that. His thing is actually just a level in Psychonauts 2.
Oh, is it okay?
So
Interesting. Yeah,
if
I didn't
think
even put
about
that
it, think
together.
about when they.
What was his
So
again?
his pitch was having you feed food to the gods. But
Oh,
if you
right.
remember in Psychonauts 2, there's the level where you're making food, you're cooking food, you're chopping food, and you're feeding it to the judges like you're in a game show.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so
This
that
was the
all came from
nucleus of
that,
that
huh?
idea. It's from the
Interesting.
guy from the documentary. Isn't that cool?
Wow, that is cool. And I guess they made Costume Quest just from one of these.
Yeah, Costume Quest was
That's where
one.
that came
There's a
from. That's
few of
cool.
them. Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I can't wait to see what they're making next.
yeah,
Guys
yeah. I
over
can't
at
wait for you to
Double
keep
Fine.
watching.
I know
Um, Apparently there's hints towards the end of this documentary. I
of
think
what they're
maybe in that
making
final
next.
episode that
Interesting.
like they might have had a couple of projects, small things kind of going because
Yeah.
like you kind of get hints of it. The Psychonauts 2 team that you see is not everyone that Double Fine. They
Yeah.
have other teams that were making other things
Well, they
at that
were.
time.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the documentary they don't focus on the Headlander guys, which was a game that
Headlander
came out in like
guys, yep.
2016. But they're making that. They talk about that, and then of course the
Rad.
VR game they like just wrapped that up in mine or where
Yeah.
I'm at in like episode 10 ish. So yeah, and now everyone's hopping on board to Psychonauts 2
Well, then there's
entirely.
the Rad team, if you remember that game.
I don't remember that game
That was
though.
that roguelite type of game.
I know Tim Schafer said a little while ago Double Fine has multiple projects in
Yeah.
development still, so I wonder if they're all split off again more because traditionally Double Fine does put out a lot of games like pretty
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah.
Like it's not like all one team just on one thing all the time there.
Yeah, maybe we'll see something this year. Not released, but like have an announcement or something. They're a pretty interesting studio.
Yeah. Oh,
I
I think
won't.
they definitely could. I mean, I imagine one of those is a smaller type game. I mean, it's got to be. They're probably making a couple smaller type games.
Yeah, yeah.
For
That
like that
documentary.
Headliner game, I never even heard of. You know,
Oh, you never heard of that
no,
game?
I never even
Hmm.
heard of that game. I mean, maybe I did when I think it came out in like 2016, so maybe I did back then. But yeah, I've never, I couldn't remember it until they actually
Yeah,
said something.
it's like your head pops off and you're like doing Metroidvania stuff or something.
Yeah,
I'm not
Adult
too sure.
Swim published it. I'm like,
I
what?
did not know that. The last thing I have to say before we move on is the interesting thing is you kind of see Tim Schafer kind of take a step back. He kind of lets Zach kind of take the lead of the entire thing, and kind of sits back and kind of writes and isn't kind of in meetings all the time. He isn't always there all the time. I
Well,
want
I
you to
like
keep
how
it.
the employees describe it. They're like mom and dad. You know, Tim's
Yeah.
mom, the other guy's dad.
Uh, it gets. I don't want to spoil much for you. It's interesting that his lack of presence there and what that leads to.
Oh, interesting. Okay, teasing
Um,
me here. Yeah, I
yeah,
gotta watch
I
that.
think
Well, cause like
Tim.
it's like you could tell Zach is very much the we gotta get shit done guy. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? And you could tell probably all video games, at least on this level, need someone like that. Like they need someone that's gonna be like, okay, we have to be done on this date. I will fire people, etc. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Keep that in your head when you keep going, though.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah,
cool, cool.
I don't want to say more. I don't want
Does
to.
he
I know it's
still
just a
work
doc.
there? Do we know? We're getting really into this doc, but like
Who?
the Zach guy is he currently
No
there?
comment.
No Ooh, interesting. Okay, that comes up. Wow. Wow. I wonder
No
if
comment. No comment.
yeah, gotta finish
I
this
will
doc. All
say,
right.
I will say, this documentary goes a lot of places that you're not going to be ready for.
Really? Okay. Yeah. I can't wait
Yeah,
to get into the Microsoft stuff too when they sold it and stuff.
I
They
just
haven't even touched on that.
you got to get to like episode 20 something.
When does that happen? 2018? Because they're in 2017 right
2019.
now.
It was
2019.
it
Okay.
was E3. It was on the stage.
Oh, really? Okay.
Tim Go. They do a part of one of the episodes is Tim going to E3.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Also, I'm surprised like Netflix didn't pick up this documentary or something, like Hulu or something. I'm surprised like one of these places didn't. I bet they pitched it to everywhere.
Well, I think that now Double Fine owns that Two Player Productions, so they don't need to put
Oh,
it on their YouTube
interesting.
channel.
Okay.
Because like I don't want to say much, but like Asif, the other guy, it's Paul and Asif.
Yeah.
Asif, after he does that, this is a minor spoiler. He kind of dips his toe more into like development because he likes, he was there for a while. He did their other documentary a long time ago, so he does a little bit more there. So it's like they probably just bought him, and we don't need it.
Yeah. All right, Daniel. Well, been another busy week in the world of video games.
Yeah, everyone decided to release news in like just a few days.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting more today later, so should have
Yeah.
some interesting stuff to talk about. But first up, then, Konami is planning on making a big presence at E3, or apparently this is all a rumor. So, but here's what they have planned so far: they will have a pretty big E3. there's apparently going to be a new Castlevania game there. No word yet on an MGS collection of some sort with the older games, but there's an MGS3 remake being out there, which we've had rumors about before that we talked about on this show before. And then the MGS3 remake could decide what comes out in the future. So based off sales and player feedback on that and stuff, we'll see where MGS goes in the future. Metal Gear Solid. So Daniel, how we feeling
Yeah.
about all this?
Yeah, I do want to give Andy Robinson a shout out too from VGC.
Andy
That's
Robinson.
I guess they just started a podcast at VGC,
Did
and
they?
he was
Okay.
talking about that on podcast. So
Good first scoop, Andy.
yeah, um, yeah. I don't really necessarily need another Metal Gear Solid remake. I kind of just wish I would prefer to put 1 through 5 on a collection and just put that out. That's really all
I
I
would
want.
even want the other, like, I want like Peace Walker and stuff too.
Peace Walker is backwards compatible on Xbox.
Cool, but like, if we're making a
Um,
collection of all of them, add that
sure.
in there too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Throw Peace Walker.
I feel like all the important ones, because I know Peace Walker is a very important one, right? So it's like, I
It's
feel like we gotta get
yeah,
them.
yeah. And I mean, then you also have Metal Gear Solid or Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance,
Yeah.
which technically is still canon, but it's in the future more. Yeah, I would like a collection more, but I'd be interested in a Metal Gear Solid 3 remake. It's one of my favorite games of all time.
Well, this is the
So
one. I mean, we've talked about this last year, might even be the year before. This is the one that's been heavily rumored. So I think this one's coming to fruition just because we've heard about it so many times now that this one seems like the most real one out of all the Metal Gear rumors we've heard. So we're probably getting it.
yeah, if you remember, this is a while ago. When the last E3 happened, not in 2022, but in 2021, Konami was supposed to be there. Do you remember?
Didn't they
They were
pull out
supposed to
like
be there.
last minute?
Yeah, they pulled out. They pulled out pretty late, and they said that they had stuff to show. And it'll now be 2 years if they do an E3 thing. So it's like, man, they really just we're gonna show some early footage or whatever logos and stuff. So if they've been sitting for this long, they must have something to show. And I wouldn't be surprised if they show Silent Hill stuff. They just got announced a bunch. Why not show some more?
Yeah,
If they
I'm
got it.
surprised they didn't. If they're gonna do a big E3 thing, I'm surprised they didn't just hold the Silent Hill stuff until then.
Yeah, when was that? And ended last
October
year?
last year,
Yeah,
maybe
October, summer.
November-ish. Yeah, right around there. So not we're what, like 4 months removed from that. I guess they would have had to wait another 8 months to talk about any of that. But
Yeah.
it's just like you might as well just because it doesn't seem like any of those Silent Hill games are coming out before that, anyways. So it's like you could have just hold that. But whatever,
The only reason why I would
nonetheless.
see they wouldn't is raise their stock. Oh, hey, we got a bunch of stuff announced. Invest in us. You
Yeah.
know? Like I could see that being a reason why. But yeah,
So this Metal
I,
Gear Solid 3 thing, I think that's cool because at least this is the beginning of the main storyline, right? Like it's not like it spoils stuff for the. Or it might. I'm not entirely sure how this story goes. I do know that this one is like the beginning point of Metal Gear, right?
of the characters that we know,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think like there is Metal Gear 1 and 2, not Solid.
Yeah.
I don't really know much of the plot of those games though.
I don't know.
But in terms of the main Solid games, yeah, this is really the start. You get Big Boss becoming Big Boss. One of the best characters of all time, the Boss. Come on, I want to see it. All these characters in their HD glory, not just a HD pachinko machine.
You don't want that?
I don't.
The
I don't.
Pachinko machine personally. Yeah. Okay. So MGS3 remake looking likely. Now this new Castlevania game, Daniel.
Yes.
How you feeling about
please.
that? What do you want from there?
Oof. That's the question, isn't it? What does my heart say, or what do I think they'll do?
I want both.
Okay. What do you want first?
Heart.
My heart says, you ready?
Yeah.
My heart says, I want a direct. No, not even a sequel. Give me just Symphony of the Night 2. That's what I want. A direct sequel.
Okay.
Symphony of the Night 2. Alucard, same pixel art, awesome music, and that's it. That's my heart. My head says it's going to be a third-person action game.
In vein of the whatever those were called.
Lord of the Shadow games.
Lord of the Shadow, yeah.
I think that's what it will be if there is a new one. I don't think the 2D games they need big successes right now for Konami, especially if they're trying to get back into making stuff. So I think that they probably want a big action game. The question is it a Belmont or is it Alucard? I mean, I think Alucard's the better character, but I mean, you get Richter Belmont, which is a great character. They could do something more along the lines of what the anime was with Trevor. Start there, maybe.
Yeah, I'd like to see him go the route they're going with Silent Hill. Make both of those things, right? Like make a big
Oh,
AAA
please.
whatever you want, right? And then let some indie team make a smaller 2D type of game, more traditional Castlevania type of thing. I think that'd be a good way to go with it.
Yeah, please give me that 2D.
Yeah, my only point of reference with Castlevania is the show. So I've never played a
That's
Castlevania
a
game.
fine
I've
point.
touched those 3D games before, but yeah, I've never gotten too deep into anything Castlevania. So I'd like one. I'd like a new one to get like really into. That'd be cool.
I mean, if you're curious, I say play Symphony of the Night. Like it
Yeah.
holds up very well.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah, you just have to understand the type of game that it is, And I
So
know you're not big into 2D.
who do we think is making both of these with the MGS3 remake and the new Castlevania?
Ooh, that's a great question. I mean, I don't think we could even guess, to be honest, because most of the
Yeah.
time it seems like they're just kind of going and getting studios. So I don't think it's anybody really big that we would know. I think that maybe what I would like to see is them stop working with other places and kind of rebuild themselves and enter Konami development again. Um, I think we need just more, big third parties to like. I want Konami to be back. I know that we've kind of bashed Konami for how they've treated Kojima and just a lot of the bad stuff there. But
I just
I
wonder
would
if
like
they're
to see.
interested in that still, Like we know they're interested now in giving out their IP and having other people make games of them, right? But we have not seen Konami themselves make anything in a long, long time. So yeah, I guess that'd be the question, right? Are they still interested in even doing that? If I had to guess though for the new Castlevania game, why not let the Dead Cells guys like they're already making that DLC? Why not let them
That
make a
would be
whole game, right?
sick.
Yeah, why not
Yeah,
let them do that for the MGS3 remake? I mean, who it could be anyone, right? Like,
yeah,
who knows? It's just a remake, anyways. I mean, they let them fucking Blooper Team do the Silent Hill 2 one, so
true.
literally be anyone. And I
Yeah,
guess
they're not
that
even a
is a
remake team.
good pairing, right? A horror studio making a horror remake, right? So maybe they will go for someone. I couldn't even think of anyone that makes
IO
something somewhat
Interactive.
IO interact. That'd be cool, right?
They're
They
busy,
got their
but
hands full, but
I think they're
maybe.
making two games right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be someone like that though, right? Someone that just makes sense, someone that makes AAA stealth games. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I have to rack my head around about that one, but yeah. But nonetheless, a lot of Konami stuff coming out in the future, probably.
Hopefully they all look good.
Yeah, yeah, that would be the plan, right?
Yeah.
Don't have it look bad.
Come on,
Uh,
Konami.
Next up, then Microsoft has announced it's signing. This is from VGC, by the way. Microsoft has announced it's signed a 10-year binding legal agreement to bring Call of Duty to Nintendo platforms on the same day it's due to appear at an EU hearing. Bum, bum, bum. Now we got like a hint of this. Was it last year? It might have been this year
Yeah.
still. I can't keep track of this stuff anymore. But
Yeah, I can tell you
yeah, at
exactly.
some point. So we know
No, it was right at the end of last year.
right at the end of last year. Okay, cool. So yeah, Microsoft, Nintendo, 10-year agreement. They're gonna bring Call of Duty to future consoles, and I mean maybe the Switch as well. We don't know. Daniel, how you feeling?
Yeah, I mean this has really been what Microsoft has been saying the whole time, they they want to bring more things to more platforms in different ways. We'll talk right after this about another place they're going to be bringing more games there. With the Nintendo thing, I'm not really sure. Their wording is very weird. I'm not sure that they're going to be bringing more than just Call of Duty. I mean, I
It's the
guess it would
same
make sense
thing
to
here.
bring.
Let me bring in this one because I feel like it's the same thing here as well.
Okay,
Microsoft
go
has
for
also
it.
inked a 10-year deal to bring all of its PC games to Nvidia's GeForce Now streaming service, including Activision Blizzard games, should the acquisition go through.
Hmm.
So there we go. That also ties into all this.
Yeah, see, and that says they're directly saying Xbox games and Activision games,
Hmm
so they're kind of like splitting with
it
the
seems like the PC Game Pass games would be there, right?
yes,
That's kind of what they're
yes.
saying. Yeah.
So anything PC Game Pass, but the Nintendo one, I'm not sure if they're going to be bringing Halo, right, or Gears and stuff. I don't know if that's their goal or is it just Call of Duty. Um,
I think their goal ultimately is to bring Game Pass there. is to
Yes,
bring
that
Game
is
Pass
the
to all these things, right? I
yeah.
think that's their ultimate goal there. So I think at some point we could see that. We could see Halo on a Nintendo Switch or even on a PlayStation at some point. You would just need to bring Game Pass over to there, and I think that's their ultimate goal, right?
Yes, for sure. I mean, if they could put um uh Game Pass on um I'm sorry, my I just lost track of what the this PlayStation. I couldn't think of
Did you
PlayStation.
just get a text that's and now you just don't know where you
I
are?
did. I
You
did. I did.
completely take it out of.
My mother just just messaged me and then I just forgot what I was saysaying.
You gotta answer your mother.
Um,
It's okay.
yes, of course. PlayStation. They if they could get Game Pass on PlayStation, they would do it in a heartbeat.
100%.
If they could get it on Nintendo, they would do it in a heartbeat.
That's
Um,
that's truly how you become the Netflix gaming streaming
yes.
service. That's how you do it. You got to be everywhere. And we know
Yeah, of
they're
course.
playing around with putting it on TVs and stuff. I think it's on one of the TVs right now. It might be LG or something like that, where you can download the Xbox app and play Game Pass through there, and all you need is a controller. I think that's the ultimate goal here for Xbox. So these 10-year agreements and stuff like that, it's like, yeah, we'll sign any agreement you want, because why not? Because we're trying to get Game Pass on there anyways. And I feel like Nintendo would be very open to that. I don't know what this Nvidia streaming thing is. I don't even know what that. I've
GeForce
never even
Now.
heard of that. Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, it's a cloud service
Okay,
by
sure.
Nvidia. It's
Oh, okay.
a
Strictly cloud service. Gotcha.
yes. The
So
interesting thing here, I'm gonna put a little wrinkle in here.
yeah,
A few years ago, before this, acquisition was even in talks, um, Activision took all their games off of GeForce Now.
did they? Okay,
They were
interesting.
on there. I would have to like look onto GeForce Now if it's back on now. I would assume it is, but I don't know for sure. So it might still be off of GeForce Now. This
So
might be
is this like a way to stream things to Nvidia like tablets and stuff
no. You could do it on your browser.
on your browser and stuff too? But they
Um,
have like tablets and stuff, right? Because I'm just wondering for the Switch, like, will it all be cloud streaming stuff? You know, like who
I
knows
think
how
they,
powerful
I think
Nintendo's next gen
Microsoft would like to
console
do
will be?
both.
Yeah,
Um, the Nvidia thing is like I mean, you could just do it on your website and your browser and stuff.
gotcha.
Um, like I have a friend that did it on just a really cheap laptop just to test it, and it was working pretty well. So
Okay.
it's all about internet and stuff. Like yeah, I think the question with Nintendo is the Switch and the Switch Pro or a Switch 2. Like their console right now, it would have to be cloud stuff. Like you'd probably have to put XCloud on there first. Um,
100% with the Switch, I think. But like, I think the question would be, could you download stuff onto the next one? Maybe in the beginning, right, onto the next Nintendo console. Like maybe the first couple years Call of Duty would run on there. But I still gotta imagine Nintendo, whatever their next console is gonna be a good amount behind what we have currently with the PS5 and Series X. So I gotta imagine, even in a couple years, Call of Duty won't be able to run on there again.
well, the way you alleviate that is you have a team because they have so many working on Call of Duty. Hopefully, it kind of slims and you let some of them do other things, but they have a lot of teams there. You could have to have one team just make a Switch port. Like that would have to be what it is, and they did it for a long time. They had a bunch of Wii Call of Duties. I think they had a DS Call of Duty. They had Vita Call of Duties. Um,
Those are
like
almost
Call of Duty,
different games, though, aren't they?
yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them are, but
Maybe
like
not the Wii ones, yeah,
yeah,
but
the Wii
like
ones they've had Black Ops. I think Modern Warfare they had a Wii
I remember
one.
the
Like
World at War one.
the World at War had one. Yep.
Yeah.
So like we had ports. So I think that they could just probably just port a they said what content parity at least or
Yeah.
feature parity.
Yeah.
So it'd at least have every mode and things, but it would have to be pretty scaled back.
Yeah, I just wonder when we get into like 2026, 2027, like are they still, and even by then, at that point, we're thinking about PS6 and the next Xbox, right? So it's like, I don't know. Nintendo's just always going to be a couple steps
Yeah.
behind these other consoles in terms of power and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I'm very curious to see how that plays out. But the deal nonetheless, yeah, cool. Great. Bring Call of Duty everywhere. Who cares?
Yeah, we'll keep seeing. I didn't really want to talk too much about the deal, but I just felt like this was something at least to talk about with the Nvidia and Nintendo thing.
Definitely. Keeping with some Xbox news, in an update from Tango Gameworks, it's been announced that CEO and founder Shinji Mikami will be leaving the studio in a couple of months. It was also said he's been preparing the team for his departure for the last few years. No word yet on if Mikami's next move is going to be him going to a different studio or if he's just straight up retiring. He has hinted at retirement in the past, and he said it's coming soon, so this could be that.
Yeah, it feels like that for sure. That's kind of how I was taking it.
Yeah, I just wonder. I I would bet in the coming days we get like a letter from him saying he's fully retiring or something like that, because it doesn't sound like he's going anywhere else. And I just wonder why they didn't just put that out right away. Maybe he just doesn't want to quite yet. But I would have liked both those news pieces to come together, that he's leaving the studio and
Yeah.
he's just retiring.
Yeah, maybe we'll see something more. Yeah, it's interesting. Like if you actually look at, I didn't really, I kind of looked into this a little bit ago. The guy that did Hi-Fi Rush, Joe Johannes,
Joe
like he
Jonas.
actually, he's a Jonas brother. He actually directed Evil Within 2.
Yeah.
So like Mikami hasn't even directed really their last two games.
Mhm.
Um, it's like I guess he's more producing and writing and things like that in the back end. Um, so it's like it seems like he's I guess your quote, I'm not sure where that was from, but I don't
It
remember.
was
But
from some. He said it in 2019 that his retirement. He was like, I'm
okay,
getting. I can't. I could find the actual article, but he
okay,
basically was like, I'm getting older. I can't
yeah,
do this forever.
he's a
So
legend. He's been around
yeah,
forever.
he's been around for so long at this point. So it's. I mean, it's gonna happen, man. I mean, all these like legendary developers, they're getting up there in age. Like a lot of people we grew up with. It's just
Miyamoto once Miyamoto retires,
yeah.
my heart
What's
will
how old is
die.
Miyamoto? Miyamoto's in his 70s, isn't
I
he?
think so.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, that's not far off. We're not getting many more games from a lot of these guys,
Oh my
like a lot
god,
of these guys they're getting older, man. It's
I know.
but in this case, I think with Tango Gameworks, they're in a great spot now. I think he's leaving them in a great spot. They just put out arguably, at least critically, their best game, right? And maybe not financially yet, but we don't know. And they're in a great spot though, I think, especially with this Joe Johannes guy. I think he's
Yeah.
really a good leader for that team.
Yeah, maybe even kind of because I forget the director of it was Ikumi Nakamura, but then somebody else stepped in. I know that also Shinji Mikami stepped in a little bit too, but there was another director in that studio as well. So maybe they will kind of do a what a lot of these developers have been doing, kind of splitting their studio a bit. Keep
Seems
Joe
like they already
Johannes.
did, right? Because they put out
Yeah,
Ghostwire Tokyo last year, so there must have been two teams, one working on Hi-Fi
his team
Rush,
is
one working on Ghostwire.
yeah definitely his team's pretty small. So maybe just keep Joe Johannes doing his thing and keep them maybe doing horror or whatever kind of cool weird thing they want to do. Like Ghostwire Tokyo, it wasn't like a fantastic game. I had a fun time with that game. I know you kind of fell off, but like
I had a great
I
time
think
with
that,
it too. I thought it was unique and
yeah,
cool world to run
there's
around
some
in. I
cool
mean, I
stuff.
think I think a little bit generic open world side, and maybe they could work on that for a sequel. But yeah, I thought it was a cool game too.
I think if they made it a more linear game and
Yeah.
kind of maybe a little more narrative focused, because I think they had some cool narrative things there, but I just think they kind of missed the mark. But yeah, um,
So did you see the Evil Within 3 tease within Hi-Fi Rush? Did you hear about this?
no, I must have missed it.
So there's an Easter egg in Hi-Fi Rush. Apparently, there's like a news feed going past the TV screen at one point, and it says like popular horror game developer developing a third game or something like that in a series. So
Hmm.
there's a hint towards Evil Within 3. So maybe they're working on
It
that.
makes sense.
Yeah,
End that trilogy, right? Wrap that story up. But we've talked about the Easter egg of Sebastian being that robot guy
yeah,
walking around with his little partner or whatever.
hmm
Like that is a hint of Evil Within already. So it's like
yeah.
it makes
They
sense.
clearly got Evil Within on their mind. So probably be looking at a third one of those in the near future, I'd imagine.
I wonder if that's kind of is this now the split because Joe Johannes did the two? Maybe they're kind of go to this keep maybe have this other guy kind of take the reins for three, or is he gonna take three?
I don't
I
know.
guess would be my
I would
question.
hope you move Joe Johannes on and his team onto a Hi-Fi Rush sequel. That would be my
Please.
hope. But yeah, see, cancel all your plans. Just go full board with that
Cancel
Hi-Fi
all the
Rush
plans.
sequel, man,
Cancel everything.
because like you got something there.
Yes, you do.
All right, Daniel. Moving on to the exciting world of PlayStation. PlayStation will be holding a state of play in about an hour here, so it'll
Actually, I
already
think
be
it's
out. But
now. Is
is
it
it
not now?
now? I know. I think it. I thought it was 4 p.m. ET. If it's
Oh, it could
now,
be.
great because we can get the news in a couple seconds. But yeah, it'll already be out by the time you're listening to this. So not much to talk about here. We know what do they have here? They'll have 5 new PSVR 2 titles coming from partners, some hot indie and third party reveals, and an extended look at Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League.
So,
Get
okay,
15 minutes of that.
there's two games that indie that has to be.
Right.
Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. For the third party in indie, Little Devil Inside, Goodbye Volcano High. Where are
Yeah.
these games?
I would also say Tachia.
He is weird. To Chia. You remember that the Chia pets?
I do.
Um, Chia is weird because Chia has been both at like PlayStation stuff and directs, but I think it was last at Nintendo.
Was
I'm
it?
not sure.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty
I
positive
just
that it was
think
at
of
it.
all 3 of those games together because there was a couple other indies they revealed right around the same time too, and all those games were revealed right around the same time at PlayStation State of Play. So I'm just like, okay, it's time to get these games out the door.
Yeah. So those three, I think for sure. The VR stuff kind of sucks. It sounds like there's going to be no first party stuff. Seems like man, they're really like they needed to come out strong,
It's
but
dead. They don't care. It's just PlayStation does not care about VR. You can tell. Like they're if they really cared, we would have had a state of play 2 weeks ago focused solely on VR. You know, and
yeah.
it's just they don't care. We're barely gonna hear about VR too for the foreseeable future, I'd imagine.
So do you think there are any big surprises here?
No, I mean this sounds like a pretty lackluster show.
Yeah,
I mean I'm excited to see Suicide Squad because
that's the big thing.
yeah
For sure.
I've been asking for just straight up gameplay of that game. Like what is this game for the longest time, and it seems like we'll finally get it here. We're supposed to be getting 15 minutes just of that, so we better actually find out what that game actually is. But no, I don't think there's anything. You know, I mean Half-Life Alex is always out there, I guess, but who knows if
At
that's
this
ever gonna
point, does
happen.
Valve even care? I
No, they
don't
probably
know.
don't, but it's just like that. If you're gonna mention PSVR 2 stuff is gonna be there from third parties, I'm always gonna think Half-Life Alex
You'd
could be
hope
there,
so.
right?
More
Because it's
people
just,
need to play that
I
game.
mean, that's the
You know?
one thing everyone wants. So it's just if you're gonna mention that at all, I'm always gonna be like, okay, hopefully Half-Life Alex is there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see too much. I mean, I don't know, maybe some Silent Hill stuff, maybe some Resident Evil stuff. You know, PlayStation's typical partners could be there, but yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know. I'm not
About
expecting too much from this.
Exoprimal
Yeah, that
again.
could be there. You know, what could be,
Pragmata.
yeah, I was about to bring that up. Pragmata, where the fuck is that
Where
game?
is this
Maybe that's
game?
there,
It's
you
been
know?
2 years.
But so we know Jeff Grubb's been saying that this was coming and then that there's a bigger PlayStation showcase supposed to happen before E3 time. So,
I think he was like alluding to like end of May.
yeah, end of May-ish. So, if that's the case, I'd imagine Pragmata would be there, you know, a big new AAA Capcom game. They're probably
Yeah.
going to want that the actual showcase and not this smaller state of play. So yeah, I'm not expecting too much for this, but we'll find out soon, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe a new Tekken trailer.
Yeah, I could see a new character, maybe a new Street
Yeah.
Fighter character or something like that too.
Something like
That
Street
could
Fighter. Yeah.
happen. Yeah. All right. Well,
Can you believe they announced that thing? Wow.
wow, that was a
Big
crazy
announcement.
thing, man. Wow, game changing. Some would say.
Game changer.
Yeah. PlayStation's
I
actually
can't believe what
closing.
Superman
Wow.
just did. You know,
Whoa. Holy shit! It's
that
actually a
crazy
Superman
thing.
game.
It's actually a Superman game. Yeah.
Speaking of directs and whatnot, the next Pokemon directs, because say PlayStation, the next Pokemon Presents will be on February 27th, and it'll last about 20 minutes. Here we go, Daniel, getting
Yeah.
our typical Pokemon Presents around this time. It's like
Mm-hmm.
clockwork now.
Always, always. Because it's right around Pokemon Day. I forget what day that is. I should know.
There's a Pokemon Day. Wow.
Yeah, there's. Of course, there's.
Okay.
We're getting the DLC for Scarlet and Violet. Like
Yeah,
that's for
that's
sure
gotta
what
be
this
it, right?
is. It's like they're not doing 3 games anymore, so that third game is just kind of taken up by DLC. Yeah, I wonder if it's going to be a 2-parter like it was for Sword and Shield.
I can imagine it is.
Maybe just do one really big one. I don't know.
Yeah. The last ones for Sword and Shield were pretty big.
Yeah, they were pretty big. I didn't play them. I wasn't really that interested, but yeah, Pokemon's one of my favorite franchises of all time. So I always want to see more Pokemon. We'll see. Hopefully they don't give us anything dumb like another Let's Go game or.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, do you think we get like another remake or something like that? No.
I mean, they might. I hope not.
I mean, last year I think we were all going into it like, who knows what that's gonna be, and they ended up revealing the next mainline one, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what it's gonna be. Okay,
Okay.
the direct's gonna start. It's going to flash a Pikachu,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to see Jigglypuff sing,
Mm-hmm.
and the Pikachu's gonna fall asleep, and it's gonna be Pokemon Sleep.
Ooh. Okay.
For 20
Okay.
minutes, you're gonna watch Pikachu sleep.
Didn't they announce a Detective Pikachu game for the Switch?
Like
And
3 years ago.
yeah, where is that? Could
I
that
don't
be
know.
here? That's got. Hopefully that's here. I
That'd
mean,
be
I'd
cool.
like to play that. Yeah.
That'd be cool. I would like to play the first one because the first one's supposed to be a very good game.
Yeah.
I think
Wasn't
it's
it like a
3DS
remake
only.
of this first one, or just like a port?
I
Or
don't
was
think
it?
there has been.
No. Okay. But wasn't that what they announced like a couple years ago?
No, they announced a new game. A sequel.
That was a full on new one. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder where that is. So maybe that ends up popping up here, but we'll find out next week.
Are
What
they
day is
making a
that?
second
Tuesday?
movie? It's Wednesday, I think, right?
Wednesday? Okay.
27th. No, it's a Monday.
Monday.
27th, right?
Okay.
Monday.
Cool. Well, we'll have that and the state of play news next week.
Yeah.
More direct news. A Super Mario Bros. Movie direct will be held sometime next month and have the final trailer for the movie. How many trailers for this movie do we need?
When does the movie come out?
The movie comes out in April. It's only 90 minutes long, and we probably have every scene in a trailer.
Yeah, we need more. I would say, if I'm going to estimate how many more trailers, I'd say about 10. We
10?
need probably about 10 more.
Okay.
Yeah.
If they could just do me a favor and put the whole movie out in a trailer and then just like put that on YouTube
On
or
Twitter,
something,
it's
that'd
just
be great.
an hour and a half movie.
Oh, I love it. You ever see that one Twitter account that just posts movies? He's like,
No.
here's Too Fast, Too Furious on your Twitter feed.
I also need about 50 more screenshots and posters.
Okay, sure. We
About
definitely
50
need
more.
more posters. Don't have
Not enough posters.
Not enough. All right, well, we'll get that sometime. Next up then, Saudi Arabia has strikes again. Saudi Arabia's revenge.
We hinted at this last week.
They have now raised their stakes in EA and Take-Two as well. After raising their stakes in Nintendo last week, Saudi Arabia is slowly taking over video games.
Yep.
Love to see it.
Can't buy an EA game now or Take-Two. Don't buy GTA 6.
No, don't do that. I mean, you can't really buy any game now if you think about it.
What is buying something? You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't own it, right? So why would you buy something you can't own?
The only game we can play is Flappy Bird.
Well, you could play a Flappy Bird knockoff in Goat Simulator.
Is that a real thing?
The goat smacks his head against the TV, and then you can like play a Flappy Bird minigame. And it's literally just Flappy Bird. It's great.
Okay. Badass.
Yeah, Goat Simulator 1's awesome. It's such a stupid game.
Way to go, Saudi Arabia. Next up, insider gaming sources were told that NetEase acquired the Quantic Dream for around 100 million euros. 100 million euros in American money is about $6. So,
ooh, I would say it's probably closer to 750. I don't know.
750? Okay, a little bit off. I guess it raised a little bit. So I'm gonna go over to UK and I'm gonna just buy Sim's whole family. No. And I'm gonna just force all of them, him and all his 6 kids and his wife to platinum games for me.
Nice.
You know,
I'll just slap a $10 bill on their table, and then you're like, keep the change.
They all freaking out. Fucking rich. They start bowing down to me.
But he can't pick up the $10 bill, Connor. You know why?
Why? Because of his tiny hands. He's trying to pick it. It's too heavy for him. It's a piece of paper. Fucking Sims. The third world country that is the UK, you know. Poor English blokes.
Yeah. Quantic Dream makes sense. They've been in a weird way since kind of I don't know. I wouldn't consider it a Sony departure or like a PlayStation departure, but like kind of they're kind of splitting a little bit of them publishing a lot of their games. So they've been kind of a little rocky.
Well, they had a 3-game deal with them, and those came out, and it just seemed like it didn't work. PlayStation wasn't interested in buying them after that, and they didn't seem too interested in working too closely with PlayStation anymore. So
Yeah. So they struck a deal to make a Star Wars game, and yeah,
And that's just been going swimmingly, apparently. So,
swimmingly.
yeah, yeah, it's great. Coming out in 2036, so we'll see that soon. Gonna be great. Was a cool trailer though.
It
Was a
was a very cool trailer. I
trailer.
like that
Yeah,
trailer a
yeah,
lot.
yeah. Who
I
knows
like the
what?
promise of the game.
Yeah, yeah. Inspired by The Last of Us. Okay, guys. Why don't you go make that first? Next up, a huge shakeup at Firaxis Games. We'll see Marvel's Midnight Suns and XCOM director Jake Solomon, as well developed studio head, leave its. Wait. Where's the studio head's name? Where's this news article?
What
Anyways,
is his
Jake
name?
Solomon is
Yeah.
leaving. The
Yep.
director of Marvel's Midnight Suns and director of XCOM, as well as the
Mhm.
studio head, who is not named in this VGC article. Sorry about that.
There is a name somewhere. I can't
I'll
remember his
click
name.
in the article and find it.
And then they also there is a lady that stepped up that has also been there for a long time.
Oh,
She has
okay.
taken over the role. I think her name's like
Studio head Steve Martin will also be leaving.
Steve Martin. Yes. And do you have the lady's name? Is her name in that article as well?
I will try to find it. But how are you feeling about this? Studio heads leaving. Seems like guys that have been there for a long time at Firaxis
Yeah.
saying goodbye.
It sounds like the Firaxis is kind of like in a we need to kind of keep making games that we know, and it seems like because Jake Solomon also came out and was like he is like firing with like a new idea and he wants to go and pursue this new idea. Sounds like he doesn't want to make a strategy game again, and it sounds like they kind of wanted him to keep making games in the similar vein because even Midnight Suns it's a strategy game but it's different. But they wanted him to kind of keep making that type of game, and he didn't want to. So it kind of sucks because I like Jake Solomon a lot. If you see him in any interview, he's always very fun to listen to. I'm just gonna keep an eye out for him and where he goes, or if he starts a new studio. Is this just another person gonna start a double A studio? You know?
Yeah, that
Um,
seems to be the hot thing to do right now.
yeah, but he's not really a studio head. He's a designer, a game designer. He through and through. That also he also directs games as well. So I don't know.
Well,
He
let me
keep
tie this one in here for you to
yeah.
give you some other news. In other Firaxis news, the company has announced the next Civilization game is in development, so we know what they're working on next.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a little while since Civ 6, right? It's been like 6 years or so. I
Has it
think it
been
came
that
out
long?
in
Wow.
2017 or 2018. Yeah, it's
Okay.
been a while. So we haven't seen a Civ game in a while. So it makes sense. Civ has been simmering for a little too long.
A little bit too long. All right. Yeah, I'm not super into this development team, so I don't really have too much to say. But yeah, new Civilization game sounds cool. We'll see where Jake Solomon ends up going.
Yeah.
Interesting nonetheless. Next up, the upcoming Souls-like game Liza P has a release window of August 2023. Coming at you sometime this summer. I thought this one would be sooner, Danny.
Yeah, they made it seem like it, but this team's kind of making a pretty big game, so they probably need to take their time, right?
Yeah.
Like it seems pretty great from what we've seen. We don't really know if the actual quality of the game yet, but August seems to be okay. We don't really know a lot in the fall or the winter yet. Like this is probably the furthest out we know. I can't think of anything else yet. I guess the new Call of Duty, rumored Call of Duty.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I
But
can't think of anything past that. But yeah.
well, I guess the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, winter. But that's kind of it.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I think this game looks awesome. Pokemon and or not Pokemon. What's it called?
Pinocchio.
Pinocchio. I was about to
Pokemon
say Piccolo.
inspired. Piccolo. He's
I'd
just
take a
Piccolo.
Piccolo Souls game though. I'll tell you what, that sounds
Piccolo
badass.
Souls
Yeah,
game.
just running around fighting big monkeys or
Yeah.
something. You know, he does that thing.
Yeah, his beam. He shoots his beam out. Yeah.
That's badass. I love it when he's got to like charge it. He's like, "Hang
Yeah.
on, Goku. I need 10 minutes." Like, dude, you can't take 10 minutes off. We're in a fight. like, like we don't got time for this. You know what I love about Dragon Ball Z? How they all just sit there and watch while they're
Yeah, for
they're
sure.
so respectable. Like,
It's
okay,
respect. Yeah,
these
it's
two
the
are
one-on-one
fighting.
fight.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah. We're not jumping in there. We could all handle this problem right now. Like, we could all
We
just
can
gain
kill
up.
this man right
We
now.
could all gain up on Cell right now and murder him completely. But we're not
No,
gonna do
because
that.
you have to build to Gohan beating him. right?
Sure,
You
sure,
have to
sure.
build to that.
No, I
Yeah.
understand. Gohan's literally fighting to save the planet right now, and we're all just watching. Let's not do anything, guys. Nonetheless, Liza P looks very cool. Coming out in August, so looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting because like this game, it's already getting a Souls-like competitor this year, right?
With
Like
Wolong.
with Wolong, it's
Yeah.
like Wolong seems like that's going to hit for me harder, even though I'm pretty excited for Liza P as well. And
At
Wolong's
least they're a good distance apart, right? What is that, like 6 months,
that
something like
will
that?
help. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
Um,
two new Souls games coming out this year that aren't from FromSoft. So
maybe
yeah.
they'll get the Elden Ring DLC and it'll eat both their
Oof.
launches. I don't
The
know.
Elden Ring DLC comes out in August. Like oof.
Oh no, big oof.
Oof. Next up, then, Ubisoft has confirmed their E3 2023 plans. They will be at the show from June 13th through 15th. They'll also be doing their traditional Ubisoft. What do they call it? Ubisoft Plays or something?
Forwards.
Forwards. That's it. That's their direct style show. But yeah, Ubisoft will be at E3. Good to know.
Yeah, I mean they got a lot to show, right? They've not really showed off a lot of stuff. Like, where's that Splinter Cell game? I think that they lost their director, right? And they were gonna get a new director. Like that remake that's gotta be doing something. Where's like a new Rainbow Six game? I mean that team they can't be only doing Siege. I
They
know we had
just put out
Extraction,
Extraction, man.
but that's also not a big team. Like it
Is it?
didn't feel that big of a game. It
Yeah.
felt because I think that was supposed to be an expansion of Siege, and they made it into their own game.
Oh, okay.
So Rainbow Six, like Ubisoft's huge. Rainbow Six has a lot of people on there. Like they used to pump out Rainbow Six games. Siege, how that game was, they kind of kept a flow of content. So I mean, it seems like they've slowed on that.
Do they
So
still make content for that game?
yes, but not nearly as much.
Okay.
Like they were pumping out content for a long time.
Because
That
I
game
wonder
came out.
if they're afraid of moving on from Siege. Because
That
Siege
game
was
came out in
such a.
2015.
I know, but like that game was such a big success. Like I'm surprised
Yeah.
there hasn't been a Siege 2 or anything. Like I just wonder if they're just kind of worried about moving on from there and trying to.
Connor, we're gonna get a Vegas 3 at E3.
God, I would love that.
That's what it's gonna be called. I'm
I would
telling you,
love that.
Vegas 3.
I mean, you gotta add a single player option for me, but
Yes. Well, it does. I mean, the Vegas games did.
yeah, for sure. But like, I could see them also just being like, there isn't one in it. But
Ooh, how about a new instead of like Ghost Recon Advanced Warfare fighter, get it like a new like Future Soldier, that type of like game, futuristic, or get something like that. Like those games are cool. Any sort of Rainbow Six. Where do they bring Patriot back? You remember that?
yeah, didn't that get turned into Siege though?
That's what people think, but there was a lot in that trailer that is not really in Siege. So
Sure.
bring Patriot back. Remember they threw the guy off the building and he
Yeah, I'm
blew up
trying to
into
remember that trailer. It was a cool
yeah,
trailer.
yeah, he had like a bomb strapped to him and they kicked him off the thing and he exploded in the
That'd be
middle of the city.
badass. That'd be
Yeah, that's
badass.
pretty cool.
But yeah, other
You
Ubisoft
can
stuff we
go
know about. We know about that Avatar game, right? That's
the Avatar game. That's right.
we haven't seen straight up gameplay of that, so that's
Probably
somewhere out
this
there.
fall.
It should be right. I think they said before next fiscal year, so it could be next March or whatever too. But
True.
it should be out within the next year. And then the Assassin's Creed Mirage game, right? That's we
Yes,
still
for
haven't seen
sure.
straight up gameplay of that. That should be coming out probably the fall, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. Traditional Assassin's Creed time slot. So yeah, they do got a lot to show. Of course, Just Dance 2020, whatever the fuck. Can't wait for
Of
that.
course.
Love it. Are they gonna
Do we
have
get
that?
any other Assassin's Creed stuff?
I mean, they got like 90 of them in development, so why
Yeah.
not? I mean, where's the live service Assassin's Creed thing or whatever?
True.
So yeah, any of that could be there. But
Be
yeah,
a new
I'll be looking
Rayman.
forward to this show.
Where's Rayman at? Where's he
Who
been?
knows? He's just buried under piles and piles of rabbits. He can't. You
Oh,
gotta dig him out of
no.
there. He's
That's a
just-
fate worse than death.
Yeah, he's oh man, my boy Raymond's just trapped under
He's
there,
just trying to get
trying
out.
to get his one hand out.
Give me a new Rayman. Those Origins and Legends are awesome. I never beat Legends. I need to go back and beat Legends because that game is awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, we look forward to that. Next up, Bloomhouse Productions is opening a subsidiary called Bloomhouse Games, where the company will be publishing new and original horror games. Let me click in here because there are some other details with this. The games will be for console, PC, and mobile, made by indie studios, budget around 10 million or below. And
That's really
Don
cheap.
Schetzler from PlayStation will be the CFO.
Hmm. The kind of post to PlayStation guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's really cheap. 1 to 10 million is maybe for I don't know, maybe for a movie that you can kind of get away with making kind of lower budget indies for that, but like games are expensive,
especially with
even
these
for
guys because
indies.
these guys they make some cheap shit.
Yeah,
You know, I like some of their horror. Like they made the recent Halloween movies and stuff like that. Happy Death Day. I really
Megan,
like
right?
those games. Yeah, whatever the fuck that is. I haven't seen that.
M3gan.
M3. I don't know what that
Um,
is. I don't
it's
want to
that
know what that
little
is.
girl
No,
that's a
like I
robot,
know what it is, but
like
like
a
I don't
robot or
I
something.
don't know what that movie is
I want to
going
watch that
for.
movie.
I don't want to watch that movie. It just freaks me out. I don't
I
know
know.
what's going
That's why I
on
want to watch
there. I
it.
just
I want
don't.
to watch Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. That's
Oh,
about to
dude,
come out.
that's supposed to be really
Apparently
good.
it's bad,
It's
and
supposed
I
to
want
be
to watch
really
it.
good, Daniel. Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna have a great
Winnie
time.
the Pooh. I like how we're getting a
Um,
creepy Winnie the Pooh and a creepy Pinocchio.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. I like this. I like this idea. We need more people to do this because what, like Annapurna did this, right? Skybound did the same, or not Skydance with Amy Hennig. A lot of these big movie studios are like, oh, games are making way more money than we are. Maybe we should kind of invest in games. So they just Blumhouse needs to really realize that number one, it's expensive to make games. Number two, it takes a long time, and you need people. Number three, you need people.
Yeah, I
So
was gonna say maybe bump that budget up a little bit with
yeah,
some of these guys. I like the idea though, just letting a bunch of indie studios giving them money to make horror games because that's a cool idea. You can get really creative in the horror space, right? Especially
yeah,
inside of games. So I guess you could make that kind of stuff for cheap, but you know, I would like something really good to come out of this. So maybe up that budget just a bit.
yeah. Go like the person whoever made Signalis. It's a game I didn't get to play.
Yeah,
Whoever made Signalis, go get them to make another cool Resident Evil, old school Resident Evil style game. Right? Boom. There you go. That can't be like too expensive.
yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that.
All right, Daniel. Well, that's
Oh,
gonna
one more thing
yeah.
with that. Because they are who they are, if they own all those IPs, they can make those IPs into games.
I'm not sure they do. You know, like, do they own the
That's just my
Halloween IP?
question.
Yeah.
No, not Halloween, but like any of the like M3gan. Do they own
M3.
M3gan?
You want
Can
to
you
make
make an
an M3
M3gan
green
game?
game?
Yeah.
That sounds terrifying. I'm not playing that.
Do they own the Get Out IP, or does Jordan Peele own the Get Out IP?
That's you do not. Let's expand the Get Out universe. I
Yeah,
don't know if we
exactly.
want that. I don't know if we want that.
Just throwing that out there. If they own any of those IPs,
Happy
they can turn
Death Day
those.
could be a video game already. You know, just
Those are fun.
respawn,
Where's the
dying and
third one?
respawning. Yeah, dude, those movies are really good.
Yeah, where's the
Like those
third
are
one?
great. They should make a third one. Get ahead and go do that.
Yeah.
I can't remember what else Bloomhouse does, but yeah, I don't know. They do a bunch of shit. I wish it was the what's the Midsummer guy? Let him make a video
Oh,
game.
Ari Aster.
Yeah, let's get that guy making a game.
Let's get him to make a game. Just
That would just
direct the
be
game.
disturbing as fuck. Oh my god.
Let it be cinematic.
Yeah.
It could even be like very, it could be very short experience, but like let it be a game because he
And I
will destroy your
guarantee,
brain.
yeah, he'll destroy your brain and you won't be able to sleep for months.
No, because it's a game you're doing it. It's gonna be even worse.
I still
Like,
sometimes when I'm going to sleep and my room's dark, I still sometimes like shine my phone light on the corner of my
yeah.
ceiling just to make sure, you know, because you never know.
Has
Hereditary
anybody
will fuck
called
you up.
him? Has anybody called him? Make sure he's okay.
Dude, who knows?
Like,
I mean,
Ari, are you okay?
he's out there making a movie with Joaquin Phoenix now, and I just can't imagine the room being in a room with those two. You know, like you would not come out of that room the same person just listening to those two talk. All right, Daniel, that's gonna do it for the news of the week. We'll now move on to what we've been playing. Daniel, what have you been playing?
Not a ton. I wish I could play more. Playing some Harry Potter. Watched.
Harry
I'm still
Potter.
trying to finish that Psych Odyssey documentary. So it's taking a lot of the little time that I have to play. So,
I understand it's
um,
3 years long, so it's gonna
yeah,
take you
it's 20 hours or whatever. But yeah, I think I think I've put another 4 hours since in this past week into Harry Potter. I guess to kind of tell you where I stopped, I played a little bit last night. I got to no big spoilers, but Professor Fig was like getting back from the ministry. He went to go to the ministry,
Okay.
and I had a mission go see him. So that's kind of where I stopped in terms of story. Um, I'm
Did you
not
get
sure
to
how
the
much
next
for
season? Did you get to fall?
no.
Okay. Well, there's a part where it goes straight up and it's
Okay.
just fall
Well, I'm
now.
sure we're gonna get Christmas and yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You get all. It's actually really cool when it turns into fall. There's like pumpkins everywhere and stuff for
Ooh.
Halloween. Yeah, I can't wait to get the winter. And I guess I can wait, but
I always think of Christmas when I think of Harry Potter.
yeah. Well, a lot of them are set around Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I got to see Professor Garlic. Like, I don't know where this character has been the
Your whole
entire
life.
game.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
or my whole life.
your
Yeah.
whole life. You don't know where this character. I'm right there with you. You know, just wow. Need some extra tutoring with her. You know.
I was waiting for the joke.
It's not just you. It was so funny because you texted me that on the Discord, and all you said was Professor Garlic.
It's it. That's all you need
That's
to
it,
know.
and I knew exactly what you were talking about. I was just
100%.
like, "Yep,
Knew exactly.
yep, 100%, Professor Garlic." I
Professor
agree.
Garlic.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Um. Yeah, I don't have a broom, I don't think yet, but I did the class.
Okay.
Do I have the broom yet from that class?
I think you got to go buy one. There's a mission
Okay.
to go buy one,
There's
so
a
it's
mission to
probably
go
like
buy
your
one?
next
Okay.
mission is to go buy the broom. But
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I did that mission where I flew around. Um, I
the
have a
flying's fun.
question.
I like the
Yeah,
flying. It's I mean maybe it's not the most fun, but it is just very
the
cool.
controls are a little weird with
Yeah,
the stick.
they're definitely a little weird. You
That
could
right
see
stick
why
was.
they couldn't put in Quidditch in this one because like it would not. You need a way to make that like really fast and frenetic and
I
stuff. Just
think
to
you need to remove the up and down on the
Mhm.
stick and make it the triggers,
Yeah.
and then I think that would alleviate a lot of that.
There's almost certainly going to be a sequel to this game, and they're going to have to put Quidditch in that one, so they're going to have to redo the broom flying pretty much
Yeah,
entirely.
definitely. Um, well, I was gonna ask you a question. Oh,
Harry
no
Potter.
spoil, no big spoilers, but you could just tell me. I don't really care. When you get the questions, so it's happened a couple of times with Natty and with Sebastian. That's his name, right? Sebastian.
Yeah.
With both of them,
Sebastian.
it's like, should I tell them more of what me and Fig know? I've been telling them not anything yet.
Yeah. I
Is that
don't
gonna
know how
bite
much
me?
this ends up mattering. Yeah, I have no idea. I don't think this ends up mattering.
Okay.
I don't think the dialogue options really go into anything. I don't think they actually end up mattering.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just ended up I told Natty and Sebastian pretty quickly. But like the
Oh, you
other
did.
teachers, I end up just like not saying anything to. Like when the Weasley teacher, I forget her name, when she
Professor
asked,
Weasley.
yeah, I'm always like lying to her, like, no, nothing.
Okay. It's just I don't know if I should be telling them or not. I don't want to like, oh, you didn't trust us, and then we're not going to help you or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been playing a lot less of the game. It's I don't know, the charm is kind of wearing off on me and I'm kind of seeing it for more of just like the open world game that it is, you know? And
Yeah.
it's good, but it's not great. There's again, a lot of the mission structure, especially a lot of the side quests and stuff are very fetch questy and a lot of the main story is just not pulling me in, you know? It just
Hmm.
I don't know if it's just me not being super into Harry Potter or what, but it's just not really doing it for me. I'm not like super in love with any of the characters or anything. I'm interested in knowing what's going on, but not like super interested. It's like, I'm taking it or leave it. I like the game. I think it's a good game, but it's just a little rough around the edges with some of the stuff.
Yeah. I guess that helps me. It tells me I'm doing okay by just doing the story.
Yeah,
That's all
no,
I really been
definitely. I
doing.
think just sticking with that's probably what I'll end up doing is just sticking with the main path story and just ending up beating it, because it's just, once the charm of the world wears off, you really just see it for like, okay, this is just another open world game that doesn't really do too much innovative from other open world games.
Yeah, I mean, for me, as much as I grew up with this IP and stuff, so I really like seeing. the castle and Hogsmeade and stuff. So
And that
like it,
stuff really got me too at first. And like it's so charming and the level of detail and the attention to detail is so cool and stuff like that. It's just once all that wears off, you really just see it for like, okay, this is just another open world game.
yeah, I think if I know that hindsight is always 2020, right? But if I were to recommend them what to do with the game, I would have I probably would have told them to scale back.
Yeah. I
And
do
we talked
not think the
about
world needed to be as big as it is. You know,
yeah,
I think it's so fucking big and like you could have just had I know last week I said I was surprised that it wasn't just Hogsmeade and Hogwarts and like some little areas around it and stuff like that.
yeah. This is the three things it should have just been: um, Hogwarts, Hogsmeade, the little town,
Yeah.
and then the Forbidden Forest
Yeah.
because it's in the movies as well. And that's all you needed. You
Yep.
didn't need to do anything else yet. You could have
100%
hinted at other
agree.
things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And because like a lot of the stuff around it too just seems there just for side missions and stuff like that. Like you go exploring and you go like way off and stuff. It's just like, okay, I'm clearly not supposed to be here yet. You know, like there's gonna be a mission or something around this area of why I should be here. So it's not, you know, and a lot of the stuff looks very samey too when he gets outside of Hogwarts and Hogsmeade and stuff. So yeah, the game is definitely a bit bloated, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. Um,
And I think too, like I'm just not super in the mood for a giant. Like when I realized how big this game was, I was just like, I'm not really in the mood for this right now. You know, like I'm not in the mood for like this giant RPG experience. Because I thought it was more of a contained experience, but it really is just like a giant fucking game.
yeah, we get so many open world games at this point. So
Yeah, that you really do have to be like picky and choosy of which ones you're gonna play and put your time in and
or
stuff
how
like
you
that.
play them.
Yeah, that too. But yeah, I mean, I still think it's a great game. I think the combat's great too, and it's just it's wearing off on me a bit.
Yeah. I guess I'm not going to do now. You've really reaffirmed me to not do any side stuff.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
stick
if
with the
you're
story.
interested in one of the characters, like if you really like Natty and she asks you to do a side quest, go do it because like you will get cool story stuff through that. But they aren't like cool missions. Like it is always just like go in this cave, fight these goblins, grab this thing, give it back to Natty. She'll give you more story stuff.
Yeah. Well, I like those characters, but I'll just stick with the story and see where they put them in.
Yeah,
That's
I think
pretty
I'm right
much.
there with you. What I have been
Okay.
playing a lot though, Daniel, is
Oh.
Metroid Prime Remastered.
Oh, I was not
Yes,
prepared for
yes.
this. I
Oh,
did
I
not know you were
I
playing
jumped
this.
into this.
Okay.
I
I'm
like this
excited to hear
game.
what you
I
think.
like this game a lot.
Okay.
I do have some points where I hate it though. There is
You hate the Metroid A type of
I hate the
Metroidvania type of stuff?
backtracking. I
Yeah.
hate the backtracking because there is a
The
lot of
Metroidvania.
backtracking. It's just like it is. These areas are very big that they make you go in. I guess we'll start off with the negatives. These areas are very big that you go in, and they will make you go all the way back to other areas, and not. And it's just like
Is there
enemies.
no zipping around?
Not really. Like sometimes there'll be like a shortcut to get back there, and they'll plant it there like on purpose, so you can get back there very quickly, and that stuff's cool. But like a lot of times, so there's like this system where the game will give you a hint to where the next item you're supposed to get is your next upgrade or whatever, and like a question mark will pop up on a certain point of the map, and you just go around that question mark and then find it from there. And I like that. I like it when it does pop up. But the thing is, I do not know how to trigger that pop up. So sometimes I'll get a new weapon upgrade, and the question mark won't pop up for like another hour, and I'll just be running
Mm.
around not aimlessly, because like you know I'll get the upgrade where like there's one where you can walk underwater now, and like you can move really quickly and fight underwater and stuff like that. So now I get that, and I'm like, okay, I saw a bunch of water in a bunch of different places. So let's go to all the water points where I saw like water you could walk on, and then go there and then walk under there and see what I can find. But the problem is, like, I'll do that, and then I'll think of a spot. I'll go underwater, walk there. I'll find another door, and it'll be like, oh, you don't have the right upgrade to get past this door now. And it's like, okay, so I wasn't supposed to be here. So I'm just kind of aimlessly walking around until that question mark pops up, and I just don't know how to trigger the question mark thing. So
Mm.
there's definitely some frustrations, but I do like the game quite a bit. I'm having a lot of fun with it. The The music, I gotta shout out the music. The music is the main thing here, dude. The music is so good.
Metroid's music is always awesome.
Bro,
It's
it is
popping all the
so
time.
good. Even just like the
Yeah.
sound effects of the menu and
Yep.
stuff like that are
Classic, dude.
so
It's
good,
so good.
so
You didn't
good.
play Dread at all, right?
No,
Yeah.
this is my first Metroid game.
Oh, okay, okay. I
Yeah,
didn't know if you've
I've
ever
never
dipped
played
into
one in
one
general.
ever.
Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, the music is so good. It's not really a combat game, you know. It's not like don't think of it as a
It's
first
about
person shooter.
exploring.
Yeah, it's about
Yeah.
exploring. There's shooting, but you just lock on to things, right? So it's just like, you know, it's cool too because like a lot of the enemies are kind of more of a puzzle than they are actually just sit there, aim and shoot. Like there's a certain weapon you need to kill this enemy or something like that, or you got to switch your equipment and stuff to fight this enemy. There's a lot of really good environmental puzzles in this game. Like there's a lot of really cool stuff with the morph ball and stuff like that. You get a lot of upgrades for the morph ball too, where like some sections are like platforming sections now with the morph ball, and you're like rolling around doing that stuff. That stuff's really fun. Yeah, I mean, I'm having a good time. It's just the backtracking is really getting to me sometimes. I get very frustrated with it.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're not a big Metroidvania person, and like I could see that being a negative, you know?
I
Like,
am, but like I mean, I don't know. What do you consider a Metroidvania? Like a lot of games are like I love Arkham Asylum and stuff. That's a Metroidvania.
true.
Even
That
Dead
is,
Space has
you're right.
Metroidvania elements, right?
Yes.
So
I
it's
mean,
like
from games.
yeah, from games too, especially. Yeah, there's a lot of that. The boss fights too in this game are excellent. There's a lot of
Yeah.
really cool boss fights in this game. But
I'm
yeah,
excited
it's
to play
just
it.
yeah, no, it's a very good game. I think you'll like it a lot. The way the story is presented to you, so you're scanning everything, right? You can scan like pretty much anything, and you get a lot of story bits through that. Like you like learn more about the boss you're fighting or an enemy or whatever, and then like you can also scan. So you're on this planet pretty much, and like this ancient race has died out on this planet, and you're like trying to find out what they left behind, and there's like this whole prophecy thing that they left behind, and you're like reading a lot about that, and it's actually like about Samus and like about what you're doing. So the way they present the story there is actually really cool. There's no like dialogue or anything, but you're just like reading text from all of that, and it's a cool way to go about it.
Yeah, I've always thought that this would be like one of my favorite games ever if I played it. Like
Yeah.
as much as I
Oh,
love
I can see why
Metroidvanias.
people that play it when this game came out 2002 originally,
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah.
somewhere around there. I can see why people hold it up in such high regards for it being way back then. Like, there's some stuff here that I'm just like, wow, this was made in 2002. That's pretty crazy, you know?
Yeah.
Let's see what else I want to bring up here. Again, the music. I just got to, I mean, the music is excellent. But yeah, it really is just the backtracking that's really holding me back from loving it. Because it is just so much. And sometimes I'm just walking around fighting the same things over and over again. Because the enemies just respawn. And it's just the same enemy. It's nothing surprising. So it's just like sometimes I'm just fighting the same thing over and over again until that question mark pops up. And that gets
Yeah.
very annoying.
Yeah, that's just a Metroidvania.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe they shouldn't have made the
How do you
areas
like
so big. But yeah,
how do you like the visuals?
they're great. I mean, it's not like the best looking game ever. But I mean, I saw gameplay of the original the other day, and I was like, wow, yeah, they really did a lot here. They could have called this a remake if they wanted to. Like they could have gone full on and called it that, but they didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks great from everything I've seen. I bought the physical one, but I'd have to like look in my tracking, guys. I think I saw a story today saying that all of uh the Amazon physical copies are being delayed,
Really?
and that people can't find any more because they're just, I guess they didn't make a ton yet. But like I bought mine from Amazon. I'd have to look and see the shipping, but yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna get it or even when I can get to it. April sounds like a good time to get to that game for me, but I because I have Harry Potter, Like a Dragon Ishin, which I have downloaded, and like I'm like, Harry Potter, you better be done soon. Like a Dragon's waiting for me. Okay. There's some small games I would like to try still. A Space for the Unbound is one of them. I still haven't played. Um, Your Move is Hustle or something. What I forget the name. What is the name of that game?
Your
I have
move is hustle? What?
Your only move is hustle. Yeah, I'll talk about the game eventually.
Okay.
But yeah, yeah. I'm gonna get to that game soon. As soon as I get it.
Yeah, I don't know what my plan is here. I mean, I'm gonna get through Metroid. I still gotta go back and beat Dead Space remake. I didn't beat it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I gotta do that. I want to beat Hogwarts still. Wolong looks interesting to me, so if that comes out and that gets great reviews, I'm gonna be interested in
like
that.
next week.
Yeah, I know. And then yeah, Resident Evil. I would like to get through all of that before Resident Evil 4 remake.
Yeah,
The
I
end of
know. Me
March.
too.
Yeah, if I can get through everything I want to get through before then, I think I'll be in good shape.
I would like to, but it's not looking good for me.
Not looking pretty, yeah. Because then once Star Wars hits at the end of April, I mean, it's over. Because
Yep.
that hits, then 2 weeks after that is Tears of the Kingdom, and it's just like
And
from
then a few weeks after that, Justice League, and
yeah,
then
and then
June has 3
and then
games.
June's just fucked. Like June's just fucked.
Maybe Starfield as well
Oh
in June.
no, and then you're done, and then it's just done.
Just end me.
Yeah,
End it.
don't need any games from there.
Yep.
All right, then you got a game for me?
I do. When Daddy's away, the boys will play. I have another tier maker for us. This one should be a little easier. Maybe you don't have history with some of these, and maybe I don't either. But I'm gonna rank the Assassin's Creed games.
Oh, okay,
It's
okay.
a series that I think we both like a lot. Maybe not every game, but in certain ones we like a lot. Yeah, I'm curious to see where we'll put some of these.
I think people will hate our list because we hate the recent ones.
I don't know if hate because
Yeah, maybe not
there's a lot
hate,
that I
but
like
I
about them.
dislike
But
them a lot more than I did the older ones.
we'll start with Assassin's Creed One.
Okay. We're doing like A, B,
Altair,
C, S.
S A B C D F.
Okay. This is an interesting game. Just one of those games that like when you first popped in 360, you're just like, holy
It
shit.
kind of changed the industry a little
Yeah,
bit.
it really did, especially with like how big the world was and how beautiful it all
Yeah.
looked and stuff. I mean, it's not a great game, right? They didn't really nail down
I think it's
it.
a good game.
Sure, but like they didn't really nail down what Assassin's Creed was until 2, right? And like make
Yeah.
it refined and really good until then. So I put it probably B, C,
I was thinking B.
B.
B
Yeah, I'm
sounds
cool
good.
with B.
Yeah. It's also the first.
Cool game, cool story. I
Starting a
love the
franchise.
twist ending of that game. I love that. That was so cool
Yeah.
back then.
Then speaking of Assassin's Creed 2.
Assassin's Creed 2. Just still my favorite one, probably. Love
It's
Assassin's
my
Creed 2.
second favorite.
Yeah, the story is very good in Assassin's Creed 2. The world is super cool. Ezio, I mean, shout out
Ezio,
to
dude.
Ezio. Ezio is one of the best characters of all time.
One of the best characters of all time, for sure. I mean, it's an S tier game for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Brotherhood, which I have actually less. Brotherhood and Revelations I didn't play a lot.
I love Brotherhood.
Sloan likes Brotherhood more than 2.
I think you could make an argument that it's better in 2. I don't like it more in 2, but I think it's probably the better game, honestly.
Okay. So do you think it's also S?
I'd probably go with A with that one because it doesn't
A?
just it doesn't have that oomph. Assassin's Creed
Okay.
2 does, you know.
And then Revelations. Do you have any history with Revelations?
Yeah, I beat Revelations. I beat all of
Okay.
these up until we got to like the Xbox One gen, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. Revelations was good. A bit of a wrap up story for Ezio's character, stuff like that. It felt more like an in between thing between Assassin's Creed 2 and 3. I know Brotherhood was too, but that felt more like a full game. This almost felt like DLC for Brotherhood, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I'll go B on
Remember
that
that
one.
hook being pretty cool.
Yeah. There's
Like
there's like the
stuff.
really cool hint towards Assassin's Creed 3 at the end of this one where you like see the Statue of Liberty or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but yeah.
So B, do you think it's above Assassin's Creed 1?
Go one below that.
One below. Okay. Put it in B, one below. Then we'll just do Assassin's Creed 3. I like this game.
I do too.
Don't love the game.
Shout out to Connor.
And I kind of fell off of it. Yeah, Connor was pretty cool. I like seeing America in that era, right? I thought that was pretty cool. And this is the first time they introduced the ship stuff.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot there that was really good, but I think that they kind of didn't completely nail it.
Yeah, there's a lot to like, especially the setting. The setting was such a cool idea, especially at the time. It was like, wow, we get nothing like this, you know, like around that time period and stuff. And it just sounded so cool. It just was a shame it didn't all come together in the end. But I liked it. I think the new traversal system they kind of put in where you could like
Oh
hop
yeah,
on
where
the
you move into the
trees and stuff
trees.
like that. Yeah, that kind
Really
of stuff
cool.
was cool. There's that really cool part where the ship's shooting at you and you gotta like run through that whole town and you're like running on the rooftops and stuff like that. There's some cool stuff there. The island too or whatever where you can like make your own community around that island. Do you remember this?
A little bit.
Yeah,
I didn't play it as much as you. It sounds like.
that was actually really cool back then. So there actually is a lot I like about this game. But yeah, the story kind of falls flat. Some other stuff, the combat didn't feel as like refined and stuff as you'd wanted to. But yeah, I like this game. I put it in B still.
Uh, where
Probably
with it
bottom
with
of
the
B.
bottom of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we have Assassin's Creed. Is the other one here too? Yeah. So um, right at the same time here, we had a double release. We had Assassin's Creed Black Flag and Rogue.
Oh, interesting. I forgot
Rogue was
about
the
Rogue. I've never
last
played
gen.
Rogue.
Yeah, I haven't either, so I don't really want to rank it.
Yeah.
But I know that Rogue is you play more as a Templar, right?
Yeah,
Or it's
something
like
like
an
that.
assassin. I'm not
I
100%
can't
sure,
remember
but
either
I know that
entirely.
people like Rogue a lot actually.
Do they? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
Um
mostly focused around the ship combat, or like there's just a lot of that in there. But yeah, I'm not entirely
I'm
sure.
not, but there's a lot in Black Flag.
Yeah,
And I really like Black Flag a lot.
I do too.
Um a lot of the ship stuff. Edward's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think they really made the ship stuff like good here, you know? Like it was
Yeah,
there in 3, but now it's like really good in 4. And
definitely.
yeah, the main character is really cool in this one. Just being a pirate was fucking dope, right?
Yeah. Where would you put this at?
I like A. Could even go S.
I would think it's above Brotherhood. Yeah, let's put it S.
Okay.
Put it at S. Bottom below Assassin's Creed 2. Then we have Unity.
This is where I fell off, Daniel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd never played
I, I
Unity.
I know that people that will defend Unity for its story and stuff.
Yeah.
I know that it had a messy launch,
Yeah,
but
I just that's all I know it from is that like the launch was super messy. I'm sure they fixed it over time, right? But I mean that's kind of why I never played it because it was just once it launched, it was just like this game's a complete glitch mess, you know. And I was just like, okay, guess I'll check that out sometime later, and I still never have.
okay, we'll put it at C then.
Okay, did you play this one?
I did not play Unity.
You didn't? Okay.
But I did play Assassin's Creed Syndicate,
Yeah,
and
I've
it's
never
sad
played
that it
this.
didn't sell because of Unity.
Yeah,
Unity really affected
Unity did
Syndicate
fuck
so
this game.
bad.
Yeah.
It affected it so bad they took time off. It took a year off before Origins.
Yeah.
I this is my favorite,
Is
and
it okay?
I played this on the show.
Yeah, this is
I
what a
went
lot of
back
people
and
say
played
is
it,
that this is the best Assassin's Creed game.
and that no one talks about at all.
Yeah,
Um, just because I'll put it bottom of S,
sure.
I'll compromise a little, but I think it's an S tier. I think it's the best one.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
sure it is. I would actually love to play this one at some point. I just find the
time.
time. Yeah.
It's very. I think I've told you this when I was playing it on the show. It's very. I think of like the Arkham games.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like that. You have a grappling hook. You're like
Yeah.
launching yourself to things and stuff. It's
This is
very.
you
It's
play as
great.
like two different characters in this one too, right?
You play as a brother and a sister.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Then do we want to rank the three new ones?
Yeah, I mean, I've played them. I haven't beaten them, but I've played
I have
all
only
3
played
new
one of them.
ones. Okay,
So did you play Origin?
I did.
Okay, where
I
would you put
played a
Origin?
good. I probably played Origins more than I played the other two.
Okay.
I think I put like a good 30ish hours in Origins. Yeah, this is where Assassin's Creed really changes and it becomes this giant open world game. Very inspired. It was inspired by The Witcher. Yeah, it must have been. What year was this
Ish,
game?
yeah,
Yeah, ish.
2015.
It felt like it was very much
Or no,
inspired by
2016.
Witcher 3.
Yeah,
And I just don't think it works for Assassin's Creed. It's not what I want out of Assassin's Creed. It just becomes very generic open world to me. And it's not that I don't like that stuff, but it's just like I don't need it again. I don't need it in an Assassin's Creed game. And for me, with these 3 games in particular, it's the combat. I do not find the combat fun in these original games, in these 3 newer games. I just think it's very jack of all trades, master of none. It's
yeah,
with these games. Like stuff here is good, but it's not great. Like there's nothing about it is great. Like the combat felt great in Assassin's Creed 2. The stealth felt great in Assassin's Creed 2. The story was great in Assassin's Creed 2. these last three have just nothing about it is great. It's all just fine and there.
I like a lot of Odyssey. I think my biggest issue, more than it is like the combat for me, I want more stealth in it, and I want them to be not as big as they are.
Yeah, they're so big. I mean, they're giant.
It's so big that I don't even want to play it. Like,
Yeah, it's daunting when you back out on the map of these. I mean, a lot like
yeah,
we were just talking about with Hogwarts. Like you back out on the map on these, and you're just like, holy shit, why is there so much here?
yeah, it's crazy. So, would you rank any of them?
I don't know if I feel comfortable ranking any of them because I never
Okay,
beat them, and like maybe they come together at the end. But yeah, I mean, I'd rank them all lowest. You know, if I'm being honest,
they're
like
Fs.
yeah, they're all. No, I mean, I'd put them all below the other ones
Even
we've
below
ranked
Unity.
already. Okay, maybe not you. Well, again, I haven't played Unity, so like I'm not
Okay,
particularly ranking
I
them
put it
one,
at
but I
C.
just yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're fine, and I know they got an audience, obviously, and they're huge, and people love them, but just not for
I think
me.
Cassandra puts it like at an A
Cassandra is a
by
good
herself.
character. I'll give it that for sure.
By herself, it's like an A.
Yeah.
I think. Well, that's it.
Okay. That's assassin. Are we gonna rank the Michael Fassbender movie?
I have not watched it.
That's an S. Let me tell you.
S
That's
tier,
a S tier
double
movie right
S.
there. Double S. Love it. Let's go, Michael Fassbender. Where's the sequel?
Good
Where's the
question.
sequel? Netflix making all this Ubisoft stuff. Let's get going on a sequel there. You know?
Aren't they making an Assassin's Creed thing?
Yeah. Is it supposed to be animated? Hopefully it's
I
animated.
don't know.
Make an animated one.
Where's Devil May Cry with Adi Shankar? He's making Devil May Cry.
That's a good
He
point. Where
announced
is
that like
that?
years ago.
Where is that? Yeah, we need all that. Let's get going, Netflix. Where's the Bioshock movie? You know, what are we doing? What are we doing? Who knows?
Crazy.
Who knows? That's going to do it for the Nerd Gods podcast, episode 159. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe to us over at youtube.com/nerdicgods. You can also find us on all audio platforms. Daniel, anything else you want to say?
I was listening to my album today. Check out my album called Catharsis. I
Check
put
it
it
out.
out sometime last year.
It's on the
I'm
same
really proud
channel
of
you're
it.
on right now if you're on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah, it should be our pinned video. I'm really proud of that album. It's not perfect, but yeah, I was in a headspace when I made it, and I'm really proud of it.
I'll go check it out, people. We'll see you later. Bye bye.
Bye, everybody.